Welcome to our first ever live pledge drive here at KMRE 88.3 FM in Bellingham, Washington. I'm Suzanne Blaze. I'm one of the co-directors of the board, and I am also the program manager here at KMRE. I'm a volunteer, and we are so happy to be coming to you live from our new home here at Whatcom Community College. If you're tuning in to hear your favorite Friday shows today, unfortunately, you won't be hearing those, but we do have special programming that includes live interviews with folks who are doing great work in our community, trying to make Bellingham and Whatcom County a better place to live. I began my personal relationship with the station in 2015, but the station actually has a much older history than that. I'm here with Robert Clark, operations manager of KMRE. Robert, can you talk a little bit more about the history of how it came to be?
Sure thing, Suzanne. And my story started a little bit earlier than Suzanne's in that I was helping a local producer at KMRE do a show on the courts and legal issues called South Fork Law. And that particular show we were producing for some number of years down in the Spark Museum over on Bay Street. And about 2005, the Spark Museum had started KMRE as a low-power FM radio station. And in fact, it was one of the first LPFMs in the United States, or in the state of Washington at least. And subsequently, it had about 100 watts, and it reached, the basic downtown area. And when the station was started, it was started by John Jenkins and Jonathan Winter as an opportunity to show the community what old-time radio was like and to give a sense of community building through old-fashioned 1930s, 1940s radio. And so when we came along, it was in a transition phase into more modern current events and current voices. Suzanne?
Yeah, absolutely. That in 2015, when I came on board, it was specifically with the idea that we would be able to change the direction of the station, to go from something that was very sort of educational and internal focused to something that would include more community voices. And that's something that we're trying to do here this weekend, all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 to 7. We'll be breaking in to our regular programming and giving you a taste of some of the good work that's happening in the community in other places, just across the board. I think that that concept of raising up community voices, amplifying local people, that's why we exist. And we really hope that you will take this opportunity to donate to us during this weekend. You can call that phone number at 360-398-6150. Obviously, credit card, debit card, ACH, whatever, or if you prefer to pay in person, we'll have folks out at the farmers market on Saturday. Our people will be tabling out there and letting folks know that our pledge drive is happening. This is our first ever, and we only plan on having one of these a year, but we are excited to be in multiple places. I also am happy to tell you that our board has collected a matching fund. So any of your donations up to $1,500 will be matched, which is super exciting. It just means we can do so much more with that. And we also have like a lot of local merchants who have donated thank you gifts for people who donate. And every time you donate, you'll be entered into an opportunity into the prize bin to win one of those gifts or a KMRE merch package. So you get your choice. I mentioned that we have live interviews all weekend long, and our first ever Pledge Drive weekend guest is Jennifer Dowd from Explorations Academy. It's so nice to have you here on Pledge Drive weekend, the first ever Pledge Drive weekend, the first ever guest. I'm super excited. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about Explorations Academy. What is it that you're doing out in the community?
Oh, thanks for asking. So Explorations Academy is a 30-year-old institution in town, and it has been providing and filling an essential need in the community for those 30 years. It has always been known as a safe haven school where anyone can come who is feeling othered or like they have to change themselves in some way to be a part of something and find their authentic self here and have it celebrated and encouraged as they find themselves in who they are and who they are in relationship to the world and the community. Suzanne, I want to ask you to think back to a time in your life when you had a positive experience outdoors, and think about the person who was there with you to introduce you to that. And it's this formula of having repeated positive outdoor experiences with caring adults that creates an environmental ethic that travels from childhood into adulthood. And that's what the students here experience. We bring kids into the community, into the outdoors, to have positive experiences, learn how to effectively collaborate for a healthy and sustainable future, so that wherever they decide to go after high school, that they're going to integrate the skills, knowledge, and understandings that it takes to be a part of a shift towards a healthy and sustainable future in whatever direction they go in.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you're a high school, which means age ranges 14 to 18?
Yeah, we're a middle school and a high school. A few years ago, we expanded into sixth grade, 6th through 8th grade. And so we have 11-year-olds, and I think our oldest students right now are 19.
Right. And you're located down by Whatcom Creek?
Yep.
Okay, great. What is the address there?
1701 Ellis. It's about a block and a half from the downtown bus station.
Right. And so do students have to apply, or how does that process work?
Yeah, we have a pretty extensive application process, which really is just meant to make sure that it's a good fit for everyone. You know, we regularly go out backpacking in the field, go out camping, put students into novel situations, because novelty creates favorable conditions for learning to happen. And while they're encountering novel challenges like the ones that we're all going to encounter as our resources are threatened, you know, they need to be able to have the kind of expeditionary behaviors that are going to allow them to thrive through these tough challenges.
Right. When you think about community and how important that is to your existence as an organization, what kinds of things come up for you?
What comes up for me is learning, is capability, is the generation of positivity and hope. We are a community-based school. We rely on outside mentors, partnerships with other local nonprofits like the Whatcom Land Trust, like NC, like Unbridled Spirit. Like, these are all partners who we work with on a weekly basis to go out, work with their mentors and program managers to engage kids in environmental restoration and through learning more about themselves through their relationship with animals and sustainable farming practices.
Wow, that's awesome. And it seems like it's very it's taking that idea of outdoor education and kind of amplifying it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because it's not just being outdoors and in nature. Like, we exist in, in community and urban environments and rural environments. And so, like, how are we managing our relationships, talking across differences and tackling tackling issues in a way that demonstrates respect for each other and the diversity of ideas and opinions that it requires to solve some of our most difficult problems that we're facing.
Yeah, for sure. And so tell me a little bit more about where you think organizations like access to, free and accurate information, access to the public airwaves, where does that fit into the work that you're doing? Places like KMRE.
Yeah, KMRE is a part of essential dialogue public dialogue and discourse, and giving people and community a way to express their opinions, discuss issues, participate in local governance, foster a sense of ownership. And it may be the most democratic of medias, and perhaps some people would challenge me on that, but I'll take it. And I mean, without outlets like this, what other places are we going to have to access public dialogue? They're few and dwindling. So to see a radio station like this having a pledge drive makes me so excited to have another awesome opportunity to support media that benefits the public good.
Yeah, You were thinking, Robert?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So could you see your students benefiting from learning how to use these tools and make radio themselves?
Oh, yeah. I would say ham radio is on the horizon, since it has been being talked about for the last 3 years that I've been there. But I mean, student voices, that is an essential part of growing up, is having outlets and ability to express who you are and what you want to say and what you have to contribute. And that's very empowering.
Absolutely. And that's one of the key reasons why we exist, is to help people tell their own stories in their own voices. That's the whole reason we exist. So I want to thank you so much for being our first ever guest here on our first ever pledge drive. You're fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. And thank you so much for what you do and what you offer to our community. I'm a big supporter and always will be. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. We'll have more amazing guests coming up throughout the day. Just a reminder that now would be a great time to pledge. Just give us a call at 360-398-6150. That's 360-398-6150. You'll be hearing a lot more. There's a lot more in store. So for right now, let's just get back to music, and we'll see you all soon.